Good morning, guys and gals. Guess what day it is? It's weighing day. And look how different I am. Like how calm I am. Is this a new me? Have I changed myself out for somebody else? I'm not freaking out. I'm gonna have to hold this. Because I've not got really long to video before I've got to set off. But am I a different person? Is something different because I'm not freaking out? I'm not running to the toilet for a last minute poo. It's weird day. I feel quite chilled, if I'm going to be honest with you. So if you've clicked on this video, you're after my weigh-in video. It is, what time? Oh, I ain't got my watch on. I think it's 8:15 in the morning. I'm just about to set off to go to group. I haven't had anything to eat. I've just had my biotic gummies that I'm having because I'm hormonal. That's all I've taken. I'm going straight from group to work today because I've got a super busy day. I'm going to call and pick up some sushi on my way as like a bit of a treat to get me through the day, and because I can send that in pretty easy and it's an easy meal without having loads of bread and stuff. I've got my book. I am on week 113, I believe. Last time I got weighed, I put 1.5 pounds on, and that means I've lost 9 stone 2. Yeah, it's a bit rubbish. And I weighed 15, 13 and a half. So I'm hoping that's reduced a little bit. If you've not watched yesterday's vlog, I've had a pretty good week. I've done a lot of reflective work. I'm feeling a bit in control. Don't get me wrong, I'm feeling a bit rubbish that Tia's not here and things like that. But it is life and it's part of it. But I'm feeling okay. If I just lose 0.5 pound, it's fine. I just want to lose something, and I think I've been quite good this week. I've not got anything to worry about. I'm not stressing out. I'm not going to lie, it's a much better place to be. I feel so much better and calmer today than what I did last week. It was stressful. And why am I bringing that stress to my life? Like, why am I doing that? I enjoy eating on plan. So why am I not doing it? Excuses, laziness, and being ridiculous and dramatic. So I'm all ready to go. Like I said, I've got my book, I've got my card inside of here, I've got my money, my work stuff, I've got some drinks for later. In the basket, I'm putting a Twinings balanced tea for somebody to try. That's just like a little bit of something extra just to try and make the basket a little bit more interesting. And then I've got 6 free-range eggs along with like one of the wooden signs, that you put £1 in them for each one that you lose. And that's my basket this week. I was going to put a Slimming World book in as well, but I think it's getting a bit excessive and it's going to end up costing me a fortune, isn't it? So I'll save one of those for next week. Oh, I might put a can of Diet Coke in there, actually. I've just seen them on the side over there. I might put a can of Diet Coke in too, just to mix it up and fill it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm off to get weighed. So I'm just feeling really chilled, and I thought that were quite revolutionary. And yeah, let's see what the scales say. Oh, you are never going to believe what I did. I didn't finish my weighing video yesterday, so today is Friday now, and I got weighed yesterday, and I finished weighing and then I got something to eat and then went straight to work. I totally and utterly forgot to record, and by the time I got home, I was just like, I'm having something to eat, which I had stir fry really fast and easy, and then just wanted to go to bed. So here I am this morning, with my weighing update. Yesterday's group was really nice. Gary, one of the guys, came in that's been off for a few weeks. One of my friends there that I enjoy talking to, and it was nice to see him because he's now not coming for like 4 more weeks, and it's nice to catch up with people there. I do enjoy my group. It was lovely to see all the ladies there and catch up with them. I didn't get to talk to people as much this week because Ange, my Slimming World consultant, asked me to start training up on the payment thing. I think I'm all right with it, but I don't know, I kind of miss talking to people. So I think if she wants me to do something, I prefer to do the weigh-ins because I get really weirdly excited by people being like their weight losses and success. The best thing about group yesterday was a lady that I've been talking to, that I'm not going to say her name because it's not fair. She's not been doing bad, but I think she's been having like it a bit off. And we were chatting last week, and we were talking about like she'd been really good and she'd not lost what she wanted to. So we were talking about hints and tips and just having a bit of a pep talk, and she was talking to me about it, and we were just like mutually sharing how we felt about it and what we're eating and how we do like the plan and what works for us and what doesn't. And she came this week and actually like got weighed and then came up to me and were like, oh my God, you know, like I did what we were talking about last week, and I think she'd lost £4, I think it were. She'd lost a decent amount, a lot more than what she had done the week before. And she was really happy about that, and that filled me with so much joy. Like I was over the moon, and it completely made my day. Like I'm not saying that I don't enjoy going usually, but that was really lovely, and I'm quite touched and quite happy that like the chat that we had maybe it helped her a bit and it helped me. And it was lovely that when she got weighed that she came up to me and told me and was quite happy with conversation. And I just think things like that in group are the reason why I do like group. And I'm not saying that there's not negative things about group, because there is, and I know there's a lot of people that don't get on with Slimming World groups and things like that. But I think if you can find a group of people that work for you and a consultant that works for you, then I do think that they can be really, really, really helpful to your journey. It's nice to share with people that are doing the same thing and that've got the same feelings, or they've got that experience to share with. And it's like a lady that I know and I've known now for like a year, like while we were going round and saying how, like, do you know how much we'd lost and stuff, she was like, oh, Leanne, can I just say you're looking really, really well? Do you know, like in the way that you look. Now, I struggle with compliments. And I even said this and felt quite comfortable saying, like, I really struggle with compliments and I don't really know how to respond to them. I generally respond with a way of putting myself down. So if people say, oh, you're doing really well, you've like lost loads, I'm like, yeah, but I've still got loads to go. And it was nice to talk freely about that. And it was nice of her to say that I looked nice. Like, I think that is such a beautiful quality, and it's something I'm not used to. And from people in my group, I feel more comfortable them saying them, and I can say like freely, like I struggle with compliments. Like I what do you respond to compliments? And for them to talk to me about it in a light-hearted way, but it's actually really helpful. And I think sometimes it's easy to overlook them little things of what you get from group, but actually they are really helpful. We spoke about some like hints and tips from people and what people are struggling with, and it was just a really, really pleasant, calm. I felt a lot calmer yesterday. Like if you've like obviously you've seen the video from yesterday, and I got a lot from that, and I think it's something that I need to hold on to and move forward with, rather than being like a massive nerve-wracking, like scary experience where I feel nervous and I'm worried about what I've lost. Just going and embracing it. I think it helps having a more consistent okay week where you're not majorly restricting, you're not worried about it, but you're on plan. So then you go the next week and you're not feeling overtly nervous about what you've lost or gained. I think that's a better way to be. And yeah, I really enjoyed group. It was really nice and it was lovely. But that being said, after group, having to then quickly go and get something to eat for my lunch, because then I ended up working like straight through. I didn't have any gaps between clients, and I didn't get home till I think it was about 6:30, 7 o'clock. Thankfully, Oliver had been shopping and I'd asked him to pick me up a stir fry because it's really fast and easy. I don't know about you as well. I can't judge the amount of stir fry to cook. So I cooked the stir fry and I had some noodles with it. Excuse me. And I ended up with like this massive plate full, and I'm trying to be more conscious about my portions. So I'd actively tried not to put too much stir fry in, but then once I cooked it all, there was like 2 meals within there. And I did like put some aside. I didn't eat it all. But I find like cooking pasta, rice, or stir fry, I can't regulate how much to cook, because if I put some in and I don't put enough in, and it kind of wilts down, doesn't it? So then I've not got enough. But then I think I've now got a thing where I put too much in, and even when it's wilted down, there's just a massive portion there. So I need to work on that, because it's quite wasteful. And like a bag of stir fry can last me 3 meals. Do you know the big bags from Aldi? And I really enjoy that as a meal, and it's a really easy go-to, free speed food, cheap, less mess kind of meal. So anyway, that's what happened to me yesterday. Oh, so right, weigh in now, because I forgot to record this. See, I'm that chilled about it. I'm not dying to like tell you and to blurt it out. So it is week 113 for me. Last week I got weighed. Let me just grab my book, because I have remembered to bring it today. I have it here. Last week I weighed 15 stone 13 and a half, and I'd put on a pound and a half. So that then took my total to a 9 stone 2 loss. Yesterday, so this week I got weighed, which is week 113, which you would think it'd be unlucky for me, but actually it's been really good. So I got on the scales yesterday, and surprisingly, I weighed in at 15 stone 9 pounds, which then has taken my loss this week to a 4.5 stone loss, which means that I paid back my debt and then some, which I would have been over the moon just paying my debt back. I didn't overthink how much I wanted to lose this week. I have actively tried to be more mindful and bring it back down to basics, but with decorating and stuff in the house kind of calming, I've found eating and planning a lot easier and being more calm and stable, if that makes sense. I do, like I say this all the time, like what place your mind and life is in has a massive impact on how you're eating and what you've got control of to an extent. And I think it's really important to gain that control for you to be able to make good progression. Now, I didn't try this week to lose 4.5 pounds. That's all happened quite naturally, and I'm going to say easily. I've actively tried. I don't think being conscious about what you're eating is easy, but it becomes more regular and easier the more calm my life is, and the more in control and the less emotional I am. And it's also like now with the work that I've done, even though I'm feeling a little bit emotional because Tia's not home and I've had other stuff go off and the house is like being upside down, I've been decorated and I'm trying to pull stuff together. I'm finding it easier not to get thrown as easy, if that makes, like, I don't know if I'm making sense, because I do talk utter crap, and sometimes when I'm describing things, I don't think I describe them properly because I want to blurt out all this information to you all at once, and I find it sometimes hard to express exactly how I feel and what my thoughts are, because I've been that used to kind of hiding them and masking. But the more in control I feel, the easier I find this diet, the more level I am. And then when something does go wrong, I'm finding it easier then to kind of curb the feeling of wanting to just eat loads of crap. So the total weight loss after I've lost 4.5 pounds this week has taken me to 9 stone 6.5 pound loss in total since I started this journey. I'm not in debt anymore, which I'm over the moon with. I didn't win Slimmer of the Week because obviously I put on last week and I didn't win the raffle. But I'm kind of like, I quite like other people getting Slimmer of the Week. It brings me a little bit of joy that somebody's celebrated and that you get to put together this bit of like celebration of what they've achieved, and that brings me more joy, I think, than what it does getting the Slimmer of the Week. So as backwards and weird as that might sound, I genuinely do get more joy in somebody else getting it. I'll show you my book because obviously then you know that I'm not fibbing, I'm not making this up. But yeah, the only bit that's a bit rubbish, which I'm not really that bothered about, to be honest, but like I've lost 9 stone, 6.5 pound. It would have been nice, like, well, am I really that bothered? Because if I'm good this week, I can hopefully get it this week. It would have been nice to get the 9.5 stone award, and I'm just half a pound off of that. But it'll come next week, and I'm feeling quite chilled about that. I'm quite, I'm going to say I'm quite determined. I'm quite determined to be consistent. And if I'm consistent, then I should be able to lose half a pound unless I have a hormonal influx that makes me retain water, which then it'll come later anyway, won't it? So I'm not that stressed about that. I'm quite looking forward to the 10 stone loss milestone. That'll be really, really nice, and it will also send me into the, will it send me into, oh yeah, I think if I lose 10, oh no, that's £10 away. No, I've got to lose £7, and then I will get to my 10 stone loss, which is a milestone. But it'd be really nice to edge into them 14s like within the next month, month and a half, even 2 months really. I don't mind, because I've got £10 to lose. So if it takes me a couple of months to get into them, that'd be really nice. If it's a bit longer, actually, I don't really mind, because £10 quite a significant amount, you know, when you're just plodding along. And I don't really like to set dead set goal. I do like numbers, and there's parts of me that always pulls me back to wanting to like set a goal and a target. But then the other part of me really enjoys just taking it steady and just not really minding the time frame or when that happens. So, I mean, even if £10 takes me 10 weeks, it doesn't really matter as long as I get there in the end. I only fail, don't I, if I give up trying. But I haven't seen the 14 stone bracket in like 10 years. 10 years. I was saying to Oliver, actually, like, this is the lightest weight that he's ever known me at. Like, weighing 15 stone 9 now is the lightest weight that Oliver has ever known me. Like, I've never weighed that the entirety of the time that we've been together. No matter what I've tried, like, this is the lightest, and that is a bit weird. To get into the 14s will be amazing. The lightest weight that I've got to in my adult period has been, I think, 13 stone 13, and I was 22 or 23. It was before I had Lily. Or was it just after I had Lily? I can't remember. I'd say I was like, I'm going to say mid-20s just to be safe, but I think it was like 24, 23, 24. I'm going to guess that. And I weighed, the very lightest I got to, I was doing the Cambridge diet, and I lost 6 stone in 6 months, and I weighed, it definitely was 13 stone 13, because I can remember it being like 13, 13, and that's really, well, it's the lightest weight, so it's going to stick in my head, isn't it? But then I got gallbladder problems, and because I was put in for an emergency operation, I couldn't continue with the diet, I couldn't do the refeed, and it all just spiraled downhill from there, because it was really difficult to eat, because the fat content and stuff then triggered me. I ended up having my gallbladder removed, which I'm so glad about, because I had no other problems after that. However, that was the lightest weight that was at, and I was really glad I was at a light weight when that happened to me, because it meant that I could have the operation a certain way without it having to be for somebody that was a lot heavier. So yeah, I remember that quite vividly. It would be nice if I can re-get that 13 kind of mark to be the lightest that I've been in my adult life. I'm going to admit, this time down around dieting and making changes does feel more overall, less faddy, more in control, a lot healthier, a lot better. I feel a lot, even though it's a lot slower, even though it's taking me a long while, it just feels a lot more consistent, and it feels like I'm doing things that I can change long term and that aren't like hindering my life, and like relearning patterns of behaviors and things like that. And it's something that I've never done, and something that has changed this time to what it has any other time. And let's face it, I've been on 1,000 diets my entire life, even from a kid. I remember being at school and being on diets and going to Weight Watchers, even though I think I was classed as too young. I was allowed to kind of do it. And yeah, I think I've been on a diet my entire life and it's never been like this, which feels actually quite nice. So yeah, that's where I'm at this week. It's Friday and that's how I'm starting my new 7 days before my next weigh-in. How are you guys getting on? I do enjoy hearing from you, what you've lost and milestones that you've achieved and things like that. If you've got a weigh-in coming up, as always, I wish you a massive heap of luck and think thin, because I don't think I've got anything else to report really today. Week 113, done. Think thin.